spook, the bottom of the world, the edge of everything, where time bends and direction barely matters anymore. Tonight, you're in Antarctica, but not the postcard version, not the penguin calendar, not the clean, bright ice you see in a science book. No, you're here, the real here, living a season in the coldest place. Humans weren't meant to stay. Let's begin. You wake in a metal box, technically a research station, but after 3 months, it just feels like a shipping container with Wi-Fi that mostly lies. Your bunk is narrow. Your blanket is heavy. Your socks are always damp around the toes. You stare at the ceiling for a long time before you swing your legs down and touch the floor, which is still colder than you expect every single day. The station hums. Not a comforting hum, a mechanical one. The sound of heat being borrowed from nowhere and piped into your walls, so your bones don't go still in the night. There's no morning here. Not really. It's midwinter, which means 24 hours of darkness stretched out like taffy over your brain. The sun won't rise for another month. You stopped waiting weeks ago. You mark time by meals, not clocks. And today is rehydrated oatmeal. You eat it slowly, because hot food in this place is one of the few things that still feels like a favor. Outside, the ice groans not loud, just enough to remind you that the entire continent is technically moving. Beneath your boots, miles of frozen nothing cracking and shifting Garni millimeter at a time. You suit up. It takes nearly 15 minutes. 2 layers of wool, a thermal liner, a down suit, and boots that could survive Mars. You step out into the night hat. Never ends. The air doesn't hit you. It cuts. It finds the spaces between zippers, between thoughts, between ribs. You walk to the outbuilding toe. Check the equipment. Some of it's broken. Some of it always is. You write the readings on a clipboard with a pencil that's been chewed at both ends. You don't remember doing that. You don't stop. The sky overhead is like ink left too long on a page. Deep, wet, quiet, sometimes. You see stars. Sometimes just clouds. Tonight, nothing. Even the auroras have taken the night off. You stand still for a moment, alone between snowdrifts and signal repeaters, and whisper, "I'm still here." Because sometimes it feels like you aren't, and saying it out loud makes it true again. Back inside, someone is playing guitar in the common room, badly, but honestly. A cover of a song you didn't know you remembered until the 3rd verse made your chest feel strange. You sit, you don't join in, but you sit closer than yesterday. Someone passes you a cup of something hot toffee, allegedly, but more likely powdered disappointment with caffeine. You sip anyway. You say thank you. The gratitude doesn't need to be big dot, just real. Later, you check the mail drop. It's digital, of course. No letters, no updates, just a weather report. From 5 days ago, a message from a friend back home thought. Ends with, "You're a lunatic for doing this. Write me something weird." So you do. You write day 87. The air still bites. The stars are missing. But the guitar remembered my name. I am becoming something else in the choir. You don't send it, you just save it. For now, at night, the hallway buzzes with heaters and the murmur of bored people. You hear someone laughing in the laundry room. A real laugh, like they forgot where they were for a moment. You fall asleep with your socks still on, your notebook open, and your thoughts stretched out like a horizon that doesn't end. You wake to the sound of static, not music, not voices, just the hiss of a radio trying to find something in. A place where nothing travels easily. Someone left it. On in the common room again. No one turns it off. There's comfort in knowing it's still reaching, even if nothing answers. Outside the station, snow has drifted high against the doors. You have to shove to open them. The snow pushes back. It always does. The sky is still dark. The wind still speaks in low syllables across the flat. You take your first step, and everything underfoot sounds hollow, because bit is. The continent is made of ice arresting on a secret. You check the weather instruments again. The thermometer reads -41 degrees Celsius. The air bites your eyelashes. You breathe slowly to keep your lungs from arguing with your ribs. The data is the same as yesterday, but you write it down anyway, not because it changes, but because you are changing, recording things you don't fully understand, because being witness is its own kind of work. Later, in the galley, you find a tin of peaches, canned, dusty, dusty, someone left a sticky note on it, for when it's really bad. You consider it, but not today, not yet. You put it back on the shelf and feel strangely proud. Restraint is its own kind of strength down here. You shower with water that smells faintly like metal. Count your heartbeats while you wash, not because you'll be scared, but because it's the only rhythm you trust. After, you sit on the floor by the heater legs pulled in, socks steaming, thinking about what day it is, or was, or might be. You gave up on calendars weeks ago. Now you track time by the changing tone of your own voice. Someone brings you a folded piece of paper at dinner. No envelope, no signature, just this, written in blocky pencil. I dreamed of green last night. You were there, we didn't speak, but I think we both understood. You don't ask who wrote it. You don't need to. You tuck it into your pocket. You'll carry it for days, maybe weeks. Words mean more. Here, they echo longer. That night, before sleep, you step outside one more time. The wind has died. The stars are back, and the sky glows with something soft and pale and unreal. AURORAS. At last, you look up for a long, long time. You don't think, you just stay. Because sometimes survival doesn't look like running. It looks like watching. Back in your bunk, you open your notebook. You write day, something. The snow pushed back. So did I. That the peaches are still there. So am I. The sky moved like it remembered us. You add nothing else. You just stare at the inkuntal. It feels like part of the page is breathing. Then you sleep. Not soundly, but deeply. And that's something this morning. You don't check the time. You check the hallway. If the lights are on, it's time to get up. If the coffee's gone, you've slept too long. If the station's silent, you're the first dot today. You're the first. The floor is cold even through. Purr your socks. You slip your boots on without tying them. The laces are stiff with salt. You tell yourself you'll clean them later. You won't, but the idea helps you. Boil water. Watch the frost melt on the inside of the window. It crawls slowly, like it doesn't want to leave Dot outside. A skewer circles near the fuel drums. Ugly bird, greedy, you. Respect it. There aren't many creatures down here that don't just survive. They insist. The wind picks up around midday. Not a storm, not yet, but the kind of wind that reminds Euthys Countenant. Doesn't care how well you planned. You double-check the tie-dash downs to secure the antenna. Brush. Snow off the solar panel that barely works in winter. Your fingers go numb inside your gloves. You flex them. Curse once, quietly. The wind doesn't answer. It never does you. Return inside to find a bowl of soup on the table. Still hot. No one claims it, but you know it's for you. A silent gesture from someone else who's measuring kindness in calories. You eat it slowly. It's just broth and a few noodles, but it tastes like something earned. Later, you clean out the supply closet. You find a forgotten pack of playing cards. Half the deck is missing. The joker is folded in half. Still, it makes you smile. You pin it to the wall beside the weather map. You call him Larry. You don't know why. But now his company .night comes without warning. You mark it by the heater's tone. Shifting the way people stop talking as much after dinner. You sit in the hallway with your back against the wall, not thinking, just being. The power flickers once. Nobody moves. You all wait. It stays on. You breathe again in your bunk. You take out your notebook. The cover is stained. The edges curl. You write, date whatever. The skewer is back. The broth was warm. The wind still speaks. Larry seems trustworthy. You stop, then add, I am still here, and I don't need the sun to believe it. You close the book, slip it under your pillow, not because it's valuable, because it's yours. You lie there a while, listening to the heaters, to the scrape of boots, to the quiet breathing of people who've stopped pretending this is normal, and you whisper to no one, to the ice, to yourself. Tomorrow is welcome, even if it looks like today. You wake because the generator kicked, not loudly, just enough to remind you that life here is borrowed. Every bit of heat, every spark of power, every tin of food was shipped here by someone you've never met and may never thank, but you do thank them. Every time the kettle boils, you dress slowly. Layers are routine now. Thermal, fleece, outer shell. Your body remembers the sequence before your mind is fully awake. The hallway light flickers. then steadies. You nod at it like an old friend. Out here, even electricity feels personal. You take the long route to the lab, past the weather station and the snowmobile shed, just to see the sky. It's black, of course, and clear, so clear it hurts. The stars look close enough to scrape your fingertips across. Some nights you try to name them. Most nights you just stand there, letting them look at you. You whisper, still here. To the same sky people back home are probably ignoring right now. That's okay. You remember it for them. Inside the lab, the data log blinks. Numbers scroll. Wind speed, atmospheric pressure, solar output low. As expected, you write it all down anyway. Recording is a kind of reverence, here a way of saying, I saw this. I was here when it happened. Midday, you fix the seal on one of the storage hatches. It's stiff with cold. Everything is you. Wedge a screwdriver into the edge end. Coax it back into cooperation. When it finally clicks shut, you smile. You won. Just this once. Lunch is instant noodles, shared with two glaciologists and a mechanic. You don't say much. No, one does. But someone places a square of dark chocolate in front of your bowl. You don't ask who. You just nod. Because in Antarctica, chocolate is currency, and kindness is never wasted later. Someone puts a note on the fridge. Auroras may be tonight. If the sky's still kind, you check it is. So you bundle up again, step into the stillness, and look up. Green flickers spill across the sky like paint spilled on velvet. And for a moment, just a moment, the cold doesn't matter. Forget your gloves. Forget the numb in your feet. Forget the ache behind your ice from too many hours under fluorescent lights, because the sky is moving, and you are standing still beneath it, witnessing back in your bunk. You write in your notebook, day 80-4. The sky opened. The chocolate was real. The stars listened. So did I. You pause, then add, tomorrow might be colder. That's fine. I'll still be here. You close your eyes, and the last thing you see before sleep is the glow of the aurora still dancing on the back of your eyelids. You'll carry that with you into whatever tomorrow asks. You wake before the lights come on. Still dark, still quiet, still that faint mechanical hum that never quite leaves the station's heartbeat. Steady and low. You listen for footsteps. Nothing. For a few precious minutes. You have Antarctica to yourself. You sit up, pull on a fleece that smells faintly of coffee. You don't remember the last time it was washed. You don't care. The kitchen is dark, except for the glow of one emergency light above. The sink, you don't. Flip the switch. You let the blue dimness wrap around Ulick early. Morning fog. You heat water. The kettle wheezes, like it resents being awake. You make tea, or something pretending to be tea. You don't read the packet anymore. You drink for warmth, not taste. You sit in the corner by the window wand, watch nothing happen. It's beautiful. Later, the others begin to stir. Boots, thud, voices scratch. A chair squeaks as someone shifts their weight. No one talks much anymore. Not because you don't. Like each other because there's nothing new to say. Everything is either too big to explainer, too small to matter. So you nod, you pass the sugar, you hand someone their gloves without being asked. That's how affection looks here, not in words, in gestures that the wind picks up in the afternoon. Not a storm, but close. The walls tremble, not with fear, but with the stubbornness of things that were never meant to last this long. You stay inside, sort, samples, recalibrate sensors, count batteries. You do work that most people won't understand, and some won't believe, but you do it anyway, not for glory, for truth. Even if it's written in ice, someone finds an old hard drive with music on it. They plug it into the main consoline. Suddenly, there's jazz playing in the lab brassy, bouncing like it's trying to shake the snow off the windows. You don't dance, but you tap your foot, and someone whistles along, and for 5 full minutes, the station feels like a diner in 1947. Then the song ends, and the silence returns, like it never left. Night comes again, or what passes for it. The auroras don't show tonight, just clouds, thick and heavy, like wool pulled over your eyes. You go out anyway, stand in the cold, close your eyes. You imagine light behind the clouds. You believe it's there. That's enough in your bunk. You open the notebook with fingers still stiff from the wind. You write day 80-5. The wind rose. The tea held dot. The music made us laugh. I imagined the auroras, and they felt real. Bend a line beneath it. Still here. Still myself, mostly. You close the notebook. Set it beneath your pillow. Not for safekeeping. For weight, sometimes you need to hold something to keep from drifting. You didn't sleep well. No one really does. Pure. The stillness gets loud at night. Your thoughts echo against metal walls, bounce back different, colder somehow. You swing your feet out of bed, hit the floor. Same as always. The cold doesn't startle anymore. It just reminds. There's condensation in the hallway. This morning, your breath clouds up in front of you. You watch it drift upward like it's looking for somewhere warmer to be. You don't blame it in the galley. Someone left a half-solved crossword. The pencil is missing. You fill in 2 answers with your fingertip on the table, wrong. Probably doesn't matter. No one's scoring this. Not down here. The lab smells like burnt dust and printer ink. A pipe is frozen. You're not a plumber, but that doesn't stop you. Down here, everyone is everything. Because the alternative eyes, nobody doing anything. You fix it. Sort of water trickles again. You call that a victory. After lunch, more powdered soup. Less powdered, hope you go out to check the satellite dish. You walk past the wind turbines, past the black flag marking a buried fuel line, past your own footprints from yesterdigest, barely visible under the drift. You stand still for a moment. The wind pushes against your chest line. It wants to see if you'll fall. You don't. You plant your feet. You stay. You look up. The clouds are low, heavy, colorless. You squint and think you catch the hint of light behind them. Not sunshine, just the promise of it. And that's enough. You turn around, walk back, your own tracks already fading behind you. Later, someone plays an old documentary on the station TV. Grainy footage, men in parkas unloading crates from SLGES. The narrator talks about bravery. You talk back under your breath. No, just people doing the next thing. And that, too, is enough. Before bed, you make a cup of hot water. No tea, no sugar. Just the heat. You cradle it, not for the drink, for the holding. And you write, day 80-6. The crossword was wrong. The pipe was fixed. The wind still tries. I still don't fall. You pause. Then you add, still here. Even when I don't know why. Especially then. You close the notebook. Let the page stay warm a moment longer under your hand. Then slide it back into the drawer beside the bed. Same spot, same ritual. And you lie back under a blanket that smells like melted snow and persistence. You whisper, tomorrow, again, even if it's the same. This morning, you wake up to nothing unusual, and that's rare enough to feel sacred. No alarms, no cracked pipe, no gust of wind, no gust of wind that sounds like a scream. Just the quiet and the creak of someone's bunk down the hall, and the dry whisper of nylon. As you slide into another layer, you pour hot water into your mug. Add the last of the instant coffee. You sip it slowly, like it's not terrible today. It isn't. The whiteboard near the galley still says, sundown already happened. Sunrise, not yet. Someone's drawn a stick figure crying under it. Another person added a penguin offering soup. You smile, not out loud, just inside, which is enough outside. The wind has calmed. You step out with your team to install a new sensor node. It's nothing. Dramatic. Just a metal box on a pole that measures wind speed. But the installation matters. Everything here matters. Or it wouldn't be worth freezing for. You hammer it into the ground, secure the cables, test the feed. The data blinks green. You cheer quietly, because that's how joy sounds down here. On the way back, someone starts a snowball fight. You pretend to ignore it. You do not succeed. Snow hits your shoulder. You turn slowly. Launch. One back. It lands. Square. Your first clean hit. In weeks. Victory. You call it science. They call it revenge. Everyone wins. Back inside. Your boots melt a little puddle onto the mat. You line them up next to the other snot, because anyone told you to, but because order feels good when everything else is uncertain. You check your email. Nothing new, but that's fine. Connection here comes in different forms. A nod over soup, a laugh at a whiteboard doodle, a shared silence that doesn't feel empty. Dinner is canned beans and rice. A bit of spice someone smuggled in from home makes. It tastes like more. You ask where they got it. They say, don't worry about it. You don't after dinner. You read a page from an old paperback left behind by someone 3 crews ago. The corners are soft, the spines cracked. You hold it like treasure. It doesn't matter what the story is, just that it keeps going, like you before. Bed. You step outside one more time. No AURORAS. No moon, just cold air. Your own breath and stars scattered like salt across a black plate. You whisper, still here. The stars do not answer, but they stay. So do you in your bunk. You write day 80-7. Coffee tasted like coffee. The sensor worked. I won a snowball fight. The stars were distant, but not unkind. And then I think the world remembers me, or at least I remember it. You close the notebook, slip it under your pillow, not for dreams, for weight. You settle into the blanket. You breathe slow. You let the quiet hold you. The morning starts with static, not from the radio, from your own brain. You sit for a long while before moving, not tired, just paused. It happens. The brain needs time to thaw, to when you finally step into the hallway. You smell toast, the fake kind, burned slightly. On the edge of a hot plate, someone mutters about luxury. You grin, because in Antarctica, burnt toast is a celebration. You mark your schedule on the board. Cleaning duty, solar diagnostics. Midday comes, check. You underline none of them. There's no rush here. The sun won't set or rise. Time is circular. No, like the wind, like your thoughts, like the footprints outside that loop back onto themselves. You suit up, gloves, mask, outer shell. You pause by the mirror. Your reflection looks older, not in years, in stillness. You zip your collar and nod. Once dot, then you step out. The air is drier than your breath. It steals moisture as fast as you can make it. You taste metal, always. The snow squeaks underfoot, not soft, not powder. It's packed hard, like regret. You walk toward the panels, brush off the ice, check the wiring. Everything's fine, or at least not broken, which is enough. On the way back, you pass the memorial post. A simple wooden marker, no name, no plaque, just initials, carved by hand, M.G. and below it, still in the wind. You stop not long, just long enough to say it again. Still here, and maybe wherever they are, they say it back. At lunch, someone tells a story from home, something about a dog and a trampoline. Everyone laughs harder than the story deserves, because joy here is rare, and you squeeze it when it comes. You don't tell a story, you just listen. Sometimes being witness is enough. Later, the storm starts, not loud, just thick, like the sky is made of flour. Visibility drops. Everyone goes quiet. You each go to your corners. Wait it out, alone. Together, you sip the last of your tea. It's lukewarm, but it holds its shape in the mug like it still believes in itself. You respect that in your bunk. You write Day 80-8. The toast burned. The storm arrived. MG is still in the wind. I'm still under the roof. Then the snow doesn't know me. But I keep walking anyway. You close the notebook, slide it back into your sock drawer. It smells faintly of pine, not from any real tree. From a packet someone opened weeks ago to remind themselves of forests. You breathe it in, then close your eyes. This morning, the light feels inner. You can't explain it, but when you wake, something in the air tells you it's different. Not warmer, not brighter, just changed. Slightly, barely, but enough that your body notices before your brain does. You sit up, your breath fogs in front of you, same as always, but it hangs a little longer this time, a little heavier. You whisper, soon. You don't know what that means, but it feels true in the mess hall. Someone's playing a recording from back home. Birdsong, real birds, not penguins, not SKUS, sparrows. It plays through a tinny speaker like a ghost, remembering how to fly. You sit near it, close your eyes, and for 3 full minutes you're somewhere green. There's a letter today, printed out from the main terminal, folded in half. No envelope, no return address, just. You won't believe how much sky there is when it's not made of snow. Still, I hope the white hasn't taken you entirely. Come home when you're ready, or don't. Either way, I'll leave the light on. You fold it again, slip it into your coat pocket. Later, you'll read it 2 more times, not for the words, for the reminder that someone's still speaking your Namivan when you aren't there to hear it. In the afternoon, the storm clears, not fully but enough to see the hills again. You and 2 others go out to check the supply shed. On the walk back, you notice your shadow, not strong, but there. You stop. You haven't seen it in weeks, maybe longer. You smile without meaning to. It stays on your face all the way inside. Dinner is louder than usual. Someone made cookies, real ones, or close enough. They taste like cardboard and sugar and celebration. You eat 2, then another no. One judge's day felt long. You earned bit at lights out. You're the last one awake. You stare at the ceiling. The walls hum. Your bed creaks when you turn. And then a soft knock on the bunk frame below you. Not a question, not a call, just a reminder. Someone else is here too. You knock back. Once connection made you open your notebook. Right, day 80-9. The sparrows came back. So did my shadow. The letter said I could leave, but today I didn't want to. You close the book, set it on your chest. Let it rise and fall with your breathing. You whisper soon. And for once, that feels like a promising, not a warning. You wake before the alarm. Again, not out of discipline, just habit, the kind that forms when night lasts for weeks and days. Don't knock politely anymore. You lie there for a while, counting the groans of the heater, the distant hiss of the wind outside, the sound of your own breath reminding you. Still, here, you pull on the fleece, your warmest one. It smells like dry air and old detergent. You like it better that way. It's real. It's lived. The hallway is dim. Someone left the mess light on again. You don't mind. Light is precious here. Even when it flickers on the bulletin board, there's a note in Sharpie. Sunrise, 13 days. Someone has drawn a little sun beside it, smiling, wobbly, hopeful. You stop and look at it longer than you mean to. Not because you're counting days, because it means someone else is. That's enough. Breakfast is powdered, eggs and quiet jokes. Someone swears they saw a seal near the bay yesterday. No one corrects them, because sometimes hope takes strange shapes, and it's best not to break them. You take a second cup of coffee. It's terrible. You drink it anyway. At midday, you go out. The air snaps at your skin like it's trying to remind you whose land this is. You already know. You're not here to conquer. You're here to listen. You check the instruments. One sensor has iced over. You chip it clean with the edge, of your gloved hand. It protests. You win, barely on the walk back. You notice the horizon has changed. Not much, but enough. A thread of something not dark hangs just above the ice shelf. Not light, but its cousin. You stop walking. Let it hit your face. You whisper, "I see you." And maybe the sun, somewhere beneath the curve of the planet, whispers back, "Inside, someone's baking warming cookies in the microwave . But the station smells like vanilla and effort, and that's what matters. You eat one, it crumbles like sand. You close your eyes anyway, perfect, before sleep. You do your last check of the comms. A ping from McMurdo. One line. Still good on supplies. Still watching the wind. Stay warm. You reply. Still here. No more. No less. In your bunk, you pull out the notebook. The spine is splitting now. The pages curl at the edges. You're right. Day 90. The eggs were dry. The sensor fought back. There was almost light. I didn't flinch. Then the sun is coming. I think I might be ready. You hold the book for a moment. Let it warm from your chest. Then slide it under your pillow, where it waits, like the next day. This morning the station is quieter than usual. No one's talking. No one's talking. No, one needs to . It's the kind of quiet that says, everyone else woke up feeling the same thing. Heavy, still. Not sad, exactly. Just stretched thin across too many days. The kind of quiet where you stir your coffee for times even, though there's nothing in it. The kind where you stand in the kitchen chest, to be near the sound of the fridge. Your boots go on like they always do. Left. Then right. Laces tugged twice, not three. The routine holds. Even if you don't, you step out into the cold like it's an agreement. You don't fight it anymore. You walk out past the generator shed, past the silent weather balloons, still half deflated, past the black flags marking danger you already know by heart. Today you're not going anywhere in particular, just out. The sky is low, gray on gray. It makes the horizon feel closer, like the whole world has curled inward to rest. You sit on the supply crate near the fuel. Barrels dotted creaks under you. You stay anyway. You listen to nothing, not waiting for anything, just being. And that's the thing. Down here, being is enough. It has to be. No achievements, no schedules that really matter. No medals, no audience, just you. And the wind, and the fact that you showed up today, and that is everything. Later, someone finds a single chocolate square hidden in the pantry. It's old, a little dusty. You split it 6 ways. You laugh like it's the best thing you've tasted in months, because it might be, and for a full minute, the world feels warm again. You check comes. Nothing urgent, nothing broken, nothing new, and that in itself feels like peace. At lights out, someone leaves a thermos of hot water by your door. No note, no explanation, but the lid's still warm. You hold it in both hands, and for a moment you forget to miss anything, because this is plenty. You open your notebook, flip past pages filled with winds, measurements and lunch descriptions, and quiet revelations. You didn't mean to write. You stop on a blank one. You write, day 91, the chocolate was perfect. The sky curled inward. So did I, and I didn't break. Then, below it, the quiet held me, and I let it. You don't close the notebook right away. You leave it open beside your bed, like it might catch something else in the night, a dream, a thought, a breath you didn't mean to hold. You woke up slowly today, the kind of waking where the blanket feels pet heavier than usual, and the air feels still, like the station is holding its breath. You didn't rush, didn't need to know. Alarms, no frostbite warnings, no radio chatter, just the faint sound of someone flipping pages in the next room and the low, warm click of the heating system doing its quiet work. You sat up, rubbed the back of your neck, and whispered, "We're okay," even if it wasn't clear who you meant. In the kitchen. The cereal's gone. Someone scrawled R.I.P. cornflakes on the empty box and left it in the recycling. You toast dry bread over the stovetop coil. It burns a little. You scrape it with bay spoon. The sound echoes more than it should. You chew slowly, not for the taste, for the rhythm. Outside, the flags snap in low bursts of wind. The air smells like battery acid and sky. You walk the perimeter anyway. It's part habit, part superstition. You don't skip it, not now. You stop at the eastern edge of the compound. There's a ridge out there low, unrounded just barely. Visible through the drift, no one talks about it, but everyone looks at it now. And then, like it's waiting, you look to Dot just for a moment. Then you turn back. Someone left a thermos in the lab, still warm. No name. You drink from it anyway. It tastes like black tea and too much silence. You sip it all the way down. Afternoon comes. The sky doesn't change, but the inside light does. Everything goes a little. Golden for 20 minutuses, the fluorescents hum. themselves into a gentler mood. You sit by the window, write a little, nothing poetic, just words like thermos, ridge, burnt toast, tea. Small things, things no one else would remember, but here they are everything. At dinner, someone tells a story about a vending machine that ate their dollar back home. You laugh, not because it's funny, but because you need it to. The sound surprises you, like it had been waiting for permission. Later, just before bed, you find a crumpled note in the sleeve of your coat. You don't know who left it. You don't ask. It just says, "You matter." Especially here. Me, you fold it once. Tuck it into your notebook, next to all the other things you didn't. Say out loud, you write, day 90-2. The toast burned. The thermos was warm. The ridge is still waiting. So am I. And below that, I matter, especially here. Maybe that's enough. You close the notebook, turn off the light, lie still beneath the blanket, listening to the wind find new ways to speak through the cracks. This morning, the station groaned, not turn, just fatigue. Just fatigue. You know the sound, the kind it makes when metal shrinks, when wind shifts, when the cold decides to press just a little harder. You sit up slowly, your muscles resist, but your will wins. You're not here for comfort. You're here to see what comes next. In the hall, someone's taped up a list titled Things We'll Do When We Get Back. Number 4, eat an apple without thinking about it. Number 9, take a hot shower longer than 3 minutes. Number 17, hear birds and not flinch. You stare at it. Think about what you'd write, then keep walking. Some hopes are private. Midday brings routine. Fuel, check. Sensor reset. A brief fight with a frozen latch that nearly wins. Your breath fogs thick and fast behind the mask. It curls, like a living thing, twisting up into the wind before disappearing entirely, just like most things here. Brief, beautiful, gone. Inside. Someone is playing music again. An old piano track slow, and just slightly out of tune. It fills the air like something sacred. A reminder that softness still exists on. You don't recognize the song. Doesn't matter. You close your eyes and listen. Let it settle. Dinner is rice and lentils, no. Salt left. But someone brought out a tiny jar of chili flakes from the back of a drawer. You use just a pinch, and it burns your tongue wine, a way that reminds you you're alive. That night, a message comes through on the coms, from the mainland, .short, .blurry, .static at the edges. Satellite drift delayed tomorrow's packet. Keep warm, we see you. That last part, we see you stays with you, more than they probably meant it to. You whisper back into the dark. I see me too. In your bunk, you open the notebook. Your handwriting has changed. Smaller, tighter, like it's trying not to take up too much space. You write. Day 90-3. The wind talked. The song knew me. The chili burned. I remembered the taste of home. You sit with that for a while, then add, I'm still here, still worth seeing. You leave the notebook open, face down. Let the ink breathe. Then you breathe with it. You wake to a new sound. Not loud, not urgent, different. A gentle tapping against the window. Soft, rhythmic, like fingers, trying to remember how to knock. You roll out of bed, still wrapped in sleep and wool, and go to the glass. You stare. Snow. Not drifted, not wind packed, falling. Real flakes, fluffy and slow, like something out of memoranded of weather reports. You press your palm against the window. Let it fog, let it melt. It's not much, but it's new. And down here, new means everything. Breakfast is quiet. Someone hums under their breath. The same 3 notes, over and over. It's not a song, it's a spell. You don't interrupt, you just listen. The kettle hisses, mugs clink. Someone sighs and says it's snowing, and no one answers because you all saw it too, and you all understood what it meant. Mid-morning, you step outside, not for work, just to stand in it. The flakes brush your hood, cling to your sleeves, melt on your cheek. You turn your face to the sky and close your eyes. And for one perfect moment, you're not in Antarctica. You're 7 years old in your old backyard. You're watching it snow from a 2nd-story window. You're someone who forgot winter could be soft. You come back inside with snow still on your coat. You don't shake it off. Let it melt. Let it be in the afternoon. Someone reads aloud from a book. Old science fiction. Aliens and stars and impossible. Planets. The heater hums. The lights flicker. You close your eyes and picture it all. Skies that are red. Oceans that glow. Cities made of glass and courage. You're not there, but part of you flies. Anyway, evening comes slow, as if it doesn't want to disturb you. You write 3 postcards. You'll never send. 1 to a friend, 1 to yourself, and 1 just marked for later. You tuck them under your mattress. Let them wait. Some messages take time at night. The clouds part just a little. You step outside one last time and see stars. Not a few, all of them. At sky so clear it almost feels crowded, like the universe forgot how to hold back. You stare until your eyes ache. Then you say it again, just like always. Still here. In your bunk, you open your notebook. The corners are soft now. The pages curl, like they're listening. You write, day 94. The snow returned, so did something else. Maybe softness, maybe me. You pause, then add, still here, still human, and that feels like enough. Today begins with static on the radio. Not a message, not yet, just sound, like the air trying to remember how to speak. You sit in the comms room, sipping tea, gone cold, listening to that soft, empty noise, waiting. You don't expect anything. You just stay, and that's enough. Someone fixes the generator. It wasn't broken, not really, but it was almost broken. And in a place like this, almost is a dangerous word. You watch them work. They don't talk. They just twist. Wires with hands that know what survival feels like when they're done. You nod, they nod back, and that's the whole conversation. Lunch. The sun almost touches the edge of the horizon. Just a whisper of gold like a memory of fire. Someone knocks on the window just, so everyone will look. You gather at the glass. 4 people, no words, and you all just watch. No one says it's beautiful. No one needs to. You feel it in the breath that no one lets out until the light is gone. Later. You help inventory medical supplies. The labels are smudged. The gloves are stiff. But everything is there. And somehow, just seeing the bandages folded neatly in rows makes you feel like the world is still under control. Or could be. Evening falls. The heat hums on. The sky turns the color of ash. You eat dinner in silence with 2 others who've become more than co-workers but not quite friends. Down here, there's something between those words. A kind of knowing that doesn't need to speak before bed. Pass the mirror in the hall. You catch your reflection. You look tired, but not worn out. There's something solid in your eyes, like the ice hasn't won. Not yet, maybe not ever, in your bunk. You open the notebook again. The spine sighs when it opens, like it's missed you. You write. Day 90-5. The sun blinked. The radio hummed. I watched the light with strangers I trust. That feels important. And then, still here, still ready, even if I don't know for what. You set the notebook down beside you. Let it rest. You follow. Today, the door jammed. Not in a dangerous way. Just enough to make you stop. Wiggle the latch. Try again. You weren't in a rush. No one is. Here, time moves differently. Not faster or sideways. You lean into the frame, and the door gives a soft protest. Then surrender. Like most things here, breakfast is porridge, same as 3 days ago, same as tomorrow. But someone brought cinnamon, a little packet, torn open and rationed like treasure. You sprinkle a little on the top, not enough to taste, just enough to smell. That's all you need. The walk to the north. Marker feels longer today. Same distance, same steps, but your boots drag a little in the snow. Not tired, not weak, just worn. You stop at the edge of the flagged line. Beyond it, miles of untouched white. It could be anything. It probably isn't. But still, you stare, because sometimes hope looks like distance. Back at the station, someone's fixing a radio antenna. You offer to help. They hand you a wrench. Don't say a word. You climb the ladder together, up into the wind. Not speaking, not needing to tweet. People in the sky, turning bolts, trying to keep the world connected. And for once, you feel tall. Dinner is leftover soup and quiet conversation. Someone hums again. The same 3-note. Rhythm no one asks them to stop. It's become part of the background. Like the wind. Like Behida. Like the sound of your own breathing. Slow and steady. Still happening. Later. The lights flicker once then steady. Everyone pauses for half a heartbeat, then continues. Because you've learnt, when something doesn't break, you keep going. You don't question it. You just move forward, even if it's slow, even if you're unsure. In your bunk, the blanket feels heavier tonight. Not cold, just weighted, like it knows how many days it's held you, like it remembers. You open your notebook, pen, already warm from your hand. You write, day 90-6. The door fought back that the wind was kind. I fixed something I don't understand, and that felt good. Then after a pause, still here, still held, still worth the ink. You close the book slowly, let the sound of it shutting ickages a little too long, and you whisper, tomorrow, yes, okay, ... You wake up to a flicker of color, not much, just the faintest green. Smear outside the window. You blink, rub your eyes, look again, Aurora, not the full curtain, not dancing, just a brushstroke quick and gone. You sit up, don't say anything, it feels too sacred for sound. You head to the galley. Someone beat you there. They're holding a mug with both hands, like it might fly away. You don't talk. You both just stare out the frost-streaked windowward, the spot where the light was. Neither of you says Aurora. Saying it out loud might make it vanish. Instead, you both sip your drink sand, nod once. Enough, midday. You fix the wiring behind the supply closet. You're not an electrician. You're just the one who is free. That's how it works here. You become what the moment needs. The wires spark once you flinch. Then the light above the closet clicks on. You grin. No, one sees it. That's okay. Some victories are meant to be quiet. Outside, the wind cuts across the ice shelf like a dull blade. Constant, heavy, uninterested in your plans. You push into it anyway. Face forward, shoulders square. You walk to the outpost tower. Check the wind vane. Log the numbers. They won't matter to most people, but they matter here. You write them down, Beckers. Someone has to, because noticing is an act of survival. To Dot in the evening, someone reads poetry aloud. It's not good poetry, but it doesn't need to be. They stumble on the lines mispronounced, half the metaphors. You don't correct them. You let the rhythm roll over you, words wrapped in wool and static, and for a little, while the room feels warmer back in your bunk, you find a small note taped to your thermos. You're doing great. Yes, you. No signature. No explanation. You don't need one. You fold it and tuck it between the pages of your notebook like a pressed flower from a place that doesn't bloom. You write, day 90-7. The light returned. Just for a second. I didn't chase it. I just watched. Then the wind is still cruel, but I'm still kinder. Still here. Still whole. You pause. Add one more line. Tomorrow. Again. Then you close the book. Turn off the light and listen to the heater thrum like a heartbeat in the floor. This morning starts with the sound of zippers. Not yours. Someone else's. Someone else's socks getting ready. Layering. up facing the day before the sun does. Thus you lie still, listening. You don't need to rush, you just need to rise, and eventually you do. In the galley, someone's written a new message on the whiteboard for days to sunrise. They've drawn little stars above the number. Someone else has added a stick figure in sunglasses below it. You add a small sun in the corner, lopsided .a, little hopeful dot. Then you pour yourself a mug of instant coffee that tastes like melted cardboard. You drink it anyway. Warmth is warmth. The generator falters around. Midday. Not a failure, just a stutter. The lights flicker. The air hiccups. Everyone looks up at the same time. Waits, then ... hum. Back to normal. You exchange glances. No panic, just alertness. Like bit the station, reminding you I'm doing my best. 2. Outside. The snow has crusted over. Each step crunches loud enough to feel like a conversation. You walk the ridge trail alone. Not for duty, just for space. Out here, the air is sharper. The sky is flat gray. You close your eyes and listen to the wind pull at your jacket. You say nothing. The land doesn't need your words, just your presence. In the afternoon, you reorganize a drawer that didn't need reorganizing. A ritual of control. A way to remind yourself that something can be tidy. Spoons in one row, packets in another, rubber bands in their own little nest. You smile. It's not much, but it's something. Evening falls gently, the kind of quiet that feels earned. You sit by the window with a blanket over your shoulders, watching frost creep across the corner of the glass, like it's painting. You let your tea go cold in your hands. You don't mind. Some warmth is just for holding. Before bed, you light a small battery-powered lantern, just for the glow, just for the comfort. You open the notebook, flip past the days behind you, stop on a fresh page, and write day 90-8. The drawer is organized. The generator forgave us. The wind is still trying to teach me something. You pause. Then, for days to sunrise, I don't feel ready, but I might be. You underline it softly, once. Then you set the notebook aside, pull the blanket higher, and close your eye stove. The sound of the station breathing round you. This morning, the light changed, only slightly, but you noticed the sky didn't brighten, but it softened. The horizon lost a little of its bite. You stepped outside with your hood up, mask in place, eyes narrowed, expecting the usual. But the air was different. Still cold, still sharp, but less dissonant. Almost like it was thinking about letting you in, back in the mess. The coffee pot's half full, which means someone else got to it first. You pour a cup, add nothing, and sit by the window. Someone walks by. You nod. They nod. It's a conversation in this language of glances and mugs. You spend part of the day cleaning the cum panel, not because it needs it, but because your hands needed purpose. You wipe down switches, tighten screws that didn't ask for it, straighten the clipboard you've straightened 100 times. When you're done, nothing has changed, and somehow everything feels calmer. The mid-afternoon light has a warmth to it now, not heat, just the color of memory. A soft orange edgital, the blue-gray sky. You watch it through your goggles as you walk the perimeter, boots crunching across snow hardened by months of silence. There's a shape in the distance, just a shadow. Really, a low ridge you've seen a dozen times. But today, it feels closer. Or maybe you've just learned how to see it at dinner. Someone puts on music, low, o, a piano slow, and careful like someone walking, barefoot across a frozen floor. You don't speak, no one does, but you sit there longer than usual, just letting the notes melt into the air. Later, in the hallway, you find a mitten left behind, familiar, to pick it up, carry it to the hook near the heater, hang it there without a word. The small acts are the real ones. Here, in your bunk, the blanket feels lighter, not thinner, just less burdened. You reach for the notebook. The pages flutter as you open it. You write, Day 90-9. The sky softened. The light leaned closer. The mitten found its way home. Then you pause. Add 3 days until sunrise. But I think the sun peaked early just to make sure I'm still watching. You smile, small, true, and close the book without a sound. This morning, you opened your eyes before the station groaned, before the pipes clinked, before the lights buzzed themselves awake. You were just there, still, listening. And in that stillness, you felt it, a glow, not light, not yet, but the promise of it. Someone left a note on the fridge. Don't forget, 3 days. No signature, just a little doodle of a bird with a scarf. You stare at it while your tea steeps. You don't drink tea, but today you do. It feels like a day for gentle things. Outside, the sky is flat and wide, but there's color in it. Now, not much, just a smear of something soft behind the clouds. You walk the path you've walked 100 times. Your boots know it better than your brain. But today, it feels new, like the snow remembers how to shimmer. You pass the flagpole, still standing, still flapping, its slow rhythm into the wind. Someone's tied a bit of red ribbon to the base. You don't know who, you don't ask, but you stop, reach down, brush the snow off the knot, because something in you needed to care for something today, even if it's small, especially if it's small back inside. The crew is quieter than usual, not tired, not withdrawn, just reflective. Everyone feels it. The turn, the shift, like the entire world is waiting to exhale. Someone bakes bread, real bread. It fills the station with a smell so heavy with comfort. You close your eyes when it hits. You eat a slice warm from the pan. It burns your fingers a little. You don't care. You smile with crumbs in your hands. Nowhere else to be later. You check the schedule. Recheck the weather reports. The sunrise is still marked in red on the wall calendar. You stand in front of it for a long time, not thinking, just letting it exist. like it's something you summoned at night. The station is almost too quiet. Everyone's in their bunks, lights off, dreams beginning. You walk the hall once, slowly touch the edge of the door frame, straighten the drying towel, whisper good night to no one in particular, and then you crawl into your bed, blanket, heavy notebook, waiting. You write. Day 100. There was bread. There was a ribbon. There was a little more color in the sky. Then 3 days until sunrise. But part of me is already lit. You close the book. Let your hand rest on the cover and exhale. The story ends, and if you are still here and fully awake, then you are very patient or very interested in the story. If that's the case, please leave a like and subscribe so you can hear more from me, and because they will fire me if you don't. Now, I will leave the rest of you who have fallen asleep to rest with this fire effect. Enjoy and have a nice dream.